Welcome back to Poetry and Police. People, welcome back to the channel. Enough shout out to the police officers in Jamaica. Shout out to the good law abiding citizens in Jamaica, both yard and abroad. Shout out to the dancehall artists them way bust out of poverty and remember where them a come from. Shout out to the dancehall artists where try to keep themselves on a straight line and not abuse the followers in Jamaica, not abuse their audience, not abusing their fans, and not pointing their fans in the directions of crime and violence, because that has been the norm for Jamaican artists. But one thing we need to remember, hip hop music comes from crime and violence. And it is fair to say that dancehall music, street music in Jamaica, come from crime and violence too. If you notice, most of the songs nowadays, when they're not singing about women, they are singing about bust them gun and how much gun them have and what kind of badness on paper, badness on rhythm, violence on rhythm. That is what most of these artists dancehall artists in Jamaica preach. But even though they preach, not all of these artists practice what they preach. Some of them are just mere way of making money and to garnish badman followers and gangster followers, because gangsters seem to relish music that are supporting their type of lifestyle in Jamaica and around the world. And for some reasons, people have been thinking in recent time that these artists are above the law. And if you take Vybz Kartel for example, they're believing that Vybz Kartel is above the law and that no matter what Vybz Kartel does, Vybz Kartel must never be arrested and charged and convicted for a crime. And even though in Vybz Kartel case, when the allegations were so detrimental against him that people still believe that he could not commit an offense, but Vybz Kartel is not the topic of discussion, even though he is along that lines. Now we have a little man in the United States who call himself Squash Six Boss. In recent time, this man has been entangling with the laws, gun violence in America. And it would appear as if this man has not been learning from his lessons. And the reason why some of these artists are not learning from these lessons, because you give them a hype. It shows the Jamaican people and the dancehall fans that they are not only bad pan music, not bad pan rhythm, but bad literally. Them can go to prison too, and them can shoot people literally, not just with lyrics, but shoot people literally with guns. And that is how the Jamaican genre is going down the drain, because these artists are doing their thing not just on lyrics, but they are doing it literally. And this little man Squash Boss, who's doing a few music and making a few money and have access to guns, make all of these things fly up in his head, and has been committing himself over the past few years and has been the talk of the town as it relates to criminal activities and illegal possession of firearms and all these things. And when these artists are in Jamaica, it's like they are untouchables. That the fans will stop the police from effecting an arrest of these men. And from time to time, you find these men disrespecting the police and acting like they are better than the police. And if the police happen to pull over a car being driven by these men, people, bystanders, start to video and call the police, bad man, you bad man, the youth in car, and all these little things. So police must not be seen. Police must never be seen carrying out their duties as it relates to these dancehall artists, because they are considered untouchables according to their fans. You see, and this makes these dancehall artists, from Vybz Kartel right down to Squash Boss, this makes these dancehall artists disrespectful of police officers and disrespectful of good law abiding citizens. This let them feel that they are above the law, and they feel that because the fans are supporting them in a country, then they believe that automatically that makes them diplomats. These dancehall artists feels that they have acquired diplomatic immunities without being appointed diplomatic immunities. But not in America. Not in America. Never in America. But before I finish on this little man we call himself the Squash 6 Boss, who wouldn't even last a day if I was a police officer and arrest him. He would be lost in the system already. Remember people, like I said, people memory short, you know. I remember Alazid, who feels him better than police. And feel he can disrespect police and feel that he was untouchable. Was sorted out properly by police and sent to prison. And from that he has been silenced. Can't go to prison, go see how prison hard now. And he has come to the realization that you cannot go around and disrespect the police simply based off the fact that you have a little money and people respect you out there and you have a fan base. That you are not a diplomat and that you are not free from arrest. And you are not free from being imprisoned. And Al-Zaid has learned his lesson the hard way. I hope he has, because from that time I haven't heard a pin drop from him from that time that he has been disciplined by the police and the courts. You have a little man named Javinci came out and do the same thing. And now, the other day I saw a video, but that disgusts me, people. Because every time I see these videos and how people act when the police stop these dancehall artists, it disgusts me. I saw a video that was circulating on the social media where the dancehall artist who calls himself Kraft was stopped by police officers and I don't know why he was stopped, but he was stopped by the police officers, and his behavior alone tells you that he feels that he was above the law. And the behavior of the people around him were all for him disrespecting the police. And nobody was there to say, artist, relax yourself, ease yourself, have respect for the police officers and you will go away scotch-free and you will be okay if you have not committed any offense. And that you should humble yourself to make the situation better. But the people around him were so hyped and violent against the police officers, and he was adhering to the violence and the opposition against the police officers, that he himself started to acting erratic, start acting as if he was a diplomat and that he was above the law. And this, my good people, is one of the reasons why Jamaican dancehall artists always find themselves in problems, especially when they move to America or when they go to America, because they believe America is Jamaica. They believe America is Jamaica and that they can do anything they want to do in America and get away with it scotch-free because they are so-called dancehall artists, self-proclaimed diplomats. No. Apart from the trouble that this little man has found himself into over the years, who seems to be following Vybz Kartel, and who seems to not realize that he does not have the same luck or links or love or laughter like Vybz Kartel, keeps getting himself in trouble with the law in America. And he keeps forgetting that he's not in Jamaica where people will turn their backs and give him a slap on the wrist for a few dollars, but he's in America. Now, finally, this man has found himself into trouble again with the law, in which is alleged that this man was held with illegal firearms, high-powered weapons, also chip Glock. And any Jamaican police officers or citizen or any American at this point in time that would know that based off of the new laws concerning these chip Glocks that artists seem to be singing about, and everybody want to own a chip Glock, even though they do not know the ramifications of being in possession of a chip Glock, that the laws have been changed as it relates to the problems that you will get yourself into, the fines, the ramifications of being in possession of a chip Glock. And some of you people don't even know what is a chip Glock. So let me explain to you what is a chip Glock. A chip Glock is a Glock that is modified to fire like a machine pistol. You have a Glock by the name of Glock 18C. That is only was made for law enforcement. It is only made for trained personnel, because that is a 9mm pistol that fires like a machine weapon. Hence it is called a machine pistol. It fires thousands of rounds in rapid succession. It will empty a 60 clip in seconds. And the police officers in America has observed that during shootouts with these guns, the chip Glock that fires like a machine pistol, because when it is modified, it fires on full auto. Then most of these gunmen who are not trained to manage this weapon tend to fire this weapon wantonly, and in most of these shootouts that involve chip Glocks, that people are accidentally shot more often than ever, because these men cannot control this weapon because they are not so properly trained to use this weapon. And that's why the Glock 18C, which is one of the manufactured machine pistols, are only meant for trained law enforcement. And as a result of that, Uncle Sam have made certain recommendations, put certain things in place as it relates to this gun, this weapon, a chip Glock. That if anybody is found with that, then the prison time is far more than a regular firearm. That the jail time on this gun is vast. Now, this man called himself 6 Boss. Is alleged to be held with one of those, and is alleged to be in custody of ICE. No, Squash Boss, I hope you have realized, and I hope your friends and followers have realized that you are about to be squashed by ICE, because there's no letting go, there's no getting away for you as it relates to this, that you will be sent to prison for a long time. You will be sent to prison. You will not be allowed to do any music like how Vybz Kartel got away with his music while he was in prison in Jamaica, because Jamaica is a very corrupt country and people will do anything for money. But if you are sent to prison in the United States, then they will build no music for you for now. And you might end up like Alazid, silence for the rest of your career. All because what? You think that the things that you can get away with in Jamaica, Mr. Squash Boss, then you can get away with these things in America. But it would appear as if you did not read the memorandum when you arrived in the United States, that you were not aware of the ramifications of breaching firearm policies in the United States or breaking the law in the United States. And you are not aware of how United States police officers operate, that they will watch you for 1 million years and wait till you have dead and buried before they arrest and charge you. That is how American police operates. And now that you have been held by the police, there's no more room for you to squash through. There's no room for you to wiggle out of this. Because when them hold you, you're whole. When they're ready for you, when the ICE have you now, you will be squashed. And you will be sent to prison and then deported back to Jamaica. Probably when at the end of this you will not have a career again. Or when you shall have returned from prison, then your type of music is lost and gone to society. And your name has been erased from all tabloids in the music industry, because you choose not to behave yourself. That you feel that being in America is like being in Jamaica. That you feel that because you can get away with atrocities in Jamaica, you can get away with it in America, but it is not so. And that you feel that in Jamaica as a dancehall artist who's followed by many people, that you are untouchable by the police, and that you have acquired diplomatic status in Jamaica just by being a dancehall artist and have many followers. But you have thought that in Jamaica, but now that you're in America, I hope you are thinking different, because America is different. And in America, you do not have that diplomatic status that you think you had in Jamaica. You will be sent to prison now, sir. So I hope you have prepared yourself to squash prison. I hope you have prepared yourself to squash all the attackers in prison. I hope you have prepared yourself to squash all the rapers in prison. And the domineering prisoners in prison. Because you are not no bad man, Squash Boss. You are more bad man. And you are fans bad man. You are troublemaker. As according to all information I have received about you, you are a letdown to the Jamaican dancehall industry. As like others like you. who feel that if you are not creating a negative era for the music, you are not doing anything. And you feel that if you to be a dancehall artist that you are supposed to have your neck deep in criminal activities like others are thinking. Vibes Cartel was one of those. And you see what happened to Vibes Cartel? No, Vibes Cartel is out of prison and Vibes Cartel is putting a face card like he's now decent. And we all know that Vibes Cartel will never be decent. But whatever he's doing now, he's keeping it under the wraps. And we have to observe that since Vibes Cartel is back on the street, he's been playing the good card. But what is happening behind closed door when it comes to Vibes Cartel? That will be another discussion. I will not go into that now. Because people need to open their eyes and look and listen and see what is happening in the music industry since Vibes Cartel came back. There has been some positive, but there have been more negative in the music industry. People are warring with each other, and there's too much contradiction going on now since Vibes Cartel is out. One would have said that the music industry would have been better without Vibes Cartel. But the powers that be, who are more powerful than the government of Jamaica, sought to free Vibes Cartel, and it is free. I hope you squash boss have that kind of power. And if you are charged and imprisoned in America, then you will not have that power. Only in Jamaica, money talks. And hardened criminals can walk out of jail, walk out of prison after they have been convicted because witnesses have disappeared or money has been spent for them to be released. So Squash Boss, you have been on the mouth of most bloggers in Jamaica. But now you're not just on the mouth of most bloggers in Jamaica, but you are also on the mouth of the American authorities, and now they are planning your demise. Because you have been caught with your pants down, Squash Boss. So now your balls will be squashed. And you will be squashed into a little corner cell for years and years to come. And your music will die. And so is your atrocious behavior. And so is your belief that you are untouchable, sir. Because now you know that you are not untouchable when you come to America. You may be untouchable in Jamaica because Jamaican people lionize lawlessness. And they lionize illegal and behaviors like yours. And they lionize men who go around with guns and hurt people and unalive people. And men who push nothing but badness. Because badness is the order of the day in Jamaica, especially in the dancehall culture. Hype and badness. Bandwagonism. But that is not the case in Jamaica, that in America, because that is not the same culture in America, Squash Boss. So these allegations are against you. I hope you can squash yourself out of it. But I am going to reiterate it, sir, that being held with a chip Glock is not a minor offense. I am not even going to talk about the other high-powered rifles that is alleged that you're held with. I am just talking about the one-chip Glock. The one-chip Glock. The one-chip Glock, Squash Boss. That you will be lost. You'll be lost in the lines of the system. You will be lost among the leaves of the American prison system. You will be squashed among squashed. Right now, me know say you must beg for ICE just deport you without charges. So you can come back to Jamaica and create a hype again. And the Jamaican people will accept you same way, because Jamaican people are like that, They don't care about the offense that you have committed. Once you're popular, once you name dancehall artists and your music them are sell, and your music them man a fire blank for your music, them are a real shot for your music, them Jamaican people don't care. Because Jamaican people are only people who lionize criminals. High and low. Jamaica is not a real place. Jamaican dancehall fans are not real. They do not believe in real. Jamaican dancehall fans believe that dancehall and violence is a dream. Jamaican dancehall fans are asleep. And only God knows when they are going to be awakened to realize that these people who they are lionizing are leading them astray. And based off these allegations against you, Squash Boss, and the allegations that were coming about you before, I believe that you're nothing but one of those dancehall artists who are trying to lead the Jamaican people astray, and who seem to put violence in action, and not just in papers or songs. Vybz Kartel has escaped the pangs of hell, but I don't believe you will, because you are charged in America. You're not charged in Jamaica. So watch out.